Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our evening live stream. It's the 19th of August 2020, and you are at the Save SA Wine live stream. Now, we'll start this live stream with a quote from the Winelands. If you love someone, let them go. If they come back with a bottle of wine, it was meant to be. I love this quote, and we've had an exciting day in the Winelands. I can see from your group that many people have actually bought wine, are enjoying our wines, and are supporting South African wines. I need to say, give a big thank you to each one of you guys who went out and actually bought some wine. Um, on the note of thank you, I just want to give a big thank you to the Fishwives Club. The Fishwives Club have been sponsoring our live streams, and they're sponsoring this evening live stream again. They still have a 45% discount on their lockdown special, and I think this is selling out fast. So if you still want to get this special, you need to jump. You get a case of Merlot and a case of Sauvignon Blanc, and it's quite a steep discount. Fantastic wine. I've had some of their wine. The Merlot is fantastic, and of course the Sauvignon Blanc is fabulous. And then they've also opened their merchandise store. I talked about that this morning, but here's the link again: fishwivesclub.gr8.com. And then we had a tremendous show this afternoon. Sorry, this morning at 10. We had Erica Taylor, and Erica gave us a social media training that was absolutely fantastic. Um, if you were there, you would know that Erica touched on a few things, and because of the value that Erica gave, a lot of people asked if we could, maybe do a replay. The videos are available on YouTube, on Facebook. We also streamed it live to Twitter via Periscope. But because so many people asked, I've actually decided to stream Erica live again tonight. So on the live stream, we'll have the replay of Erica's Social Media 101 training. This is a fantastic training. And thanks again to Erica Taylor. Social media handle, if anybody wants to find her, is at Uncorkified. And I'll talk about that again in a minute. Our group is growing by leaps and bounds. As you know, if you're following the group, we're over 53,000 people, and we want to ask everybody in the group we want to push this group now to 100,000 people. So we're asking everybody in this group, please just invite 2 people. If each of you invite 2 people, we'll be at 100,000. We need to give new impetus to, because people can get wine now, and it feels like things are slowly going back to normal. We can very easily relax our guard. But this is, like I said, it's a time to celebrate, but it's not a time to be complacent. It's really important that we keep the pressure up. It's important that we keep the awareness up. Lots of dire straits still in our winelands. Lots of people still, stare in the face that they might lose their jobs. Not all wineries are going to make it. The winelands needs all the support you can get. If you can get yourself down to the winelands, go visit them, go visit the restaurants, book yourself into a guest house, and let's get what's basically almost one of the biggest tourist attractions in South Africa back on track. So we need to do this. So thanks to everyone who's been giving their best, and we invite you. Put your photos on our group. Um, of the wines you've bought, of the places you visited. Lots of photos on your group of wines. But it would be great if people could also say, I was at this farm and this is a nice picture, and I ate at this restaurant in the Winelands. This is what I had. Here's the picture. Just keep on sharing. It's not a lot to do. If you're in the Winelands, please make the effort and share that. We really, really appreciate it. We've got some exciting things coming in this group. We're planning a bunch of live streams. We're planning some live entertainment, and we're also planning some special deals and discounts for members of this group. So get all your friends and your family here. There's already a whole bunch of discounts available. If you just go to the list where all the wineries are listing their lockdown specials, and remember, we're still in lockdown. This is lockdown level 2, so it's not over yet. And also, with the engaged activity that we're getting, we might get to a point where we've got a spread of COVID that, that's almost like a surge, a second wave. So we never know. So that's the other thing. Even if you go out and stuff like that, please remember to practice social distancing, remain safe, wash your hands, all those things. If you're a Winelands business, you can list your business on your group. The listing is bit.ly find SA Wine, and you can list your business there. And that is my story for tonight. Just before we go, another reminder of our friends at the Fishwives Club graciously sponsoring this live stream tonight. And the Fishwives Club have a 45% special. This is a free delivery to your door on a case of Merlot and a case of Sauvignon Blanc. This is an unbelievable special, fantastic wine. You will love it. And also the merchandise store is open. These fantastic T-shirts, the label and the design of everything they do is just so fantastic, and definitely something to invest in. So you can look good while you're drinking the best. So that is the Fishwives Club. Thank you very much for your sponsorship. Talking about that, usually I feature podcasts at the end of the live stream, but tonight I'm doing something different. But I just want to mention, if anybody wants to be on your podcast, just email us at visitthewinelands@gmail.com. That is visitthewinelands@gmail.com. Send an email, and we will interview you, and your Winelands business can be featured. Also, if you want to get the name out there of your lockdown special, and the message of your lockdown special out there, and just contact us as well, and consider a small sponsorship. We will do an audio recording inside the podcast, advertising your lockdown special, much the same here as we've done for our friends, the Fishwives Club. Um, just go to, if you want to get the lockdown special 45% discount, fishwivesclub.gr8.com. And now, without further ado, we're going to replay the Social Media 101 training that was given by Erica Taylor. This was a fantastic training, and like I said, many people asked where they can get it, so we've decided to replay it tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to start Erica's training, and I just want to say good night to everybody. Tune in tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. We're starting off our Thursday with a bang, and we have some exciting things happening. So be on the live stream tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And here we go. Erica Taylor, Social Media 101. Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Save SA Wine. And today we have a fantastic live stream with a social media expert going to teach us all the ins and outs and share all the little secrets about social media, Erica Taylor. And Erica, welcome to our live stream. And I'm not even going to waste any time. I'm going to let you get on with it immediately. You are the owner and founder of Uncorkified, and already a well-known person in the South African wine industry. So I think everybody's sitting there waiting for you to start sharing your knowledge. Good morning, Erica.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Just to give a small background to people who do not know me, I have been in the PR and marketing space for about over 15 years. Actually, I've had my own business for over 10 years, and I currently have clients in the US, UK, and obviously South Africa, and I manage over 25 different accounts on social media every single day. So that is a lot. So I'm going to try and give you guys some tips and tricks of how you can manage your personal social media for optimization. And I will be looking over here because I have a very giant screen that I will be sharing from, which I will start now. But make sure to take notes. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me later. Here is my email address. I am going to go a little bit quickly. These are the things that I use on an absolute daily basis. There's always alternatives to some of these, so feel free to Google around and find some that you think that work for you. The first thing that I'm going to suggest when getting started is to set up a different email account for your social media, whether it's social media at winefarm.co.za or whatever it happens to be. For a few reasons. One, it keeps your emails organized, and you can also take advantage of the free trials for all the different services, so you can bounce around a bit and figure out which one really works best for you. This program right here, I think most people know it, but it is absolutely a necessity for any person trying to do their own social media. It is called Canva, and first of all, size does matter. So this enables you to create the right size for whatever it is. So you type in Facebook, and any kind of Facebook thing that you might need pops up. You type in Instagram, and any size for Instagram pops up. And they give you some amazing templates to get started with where you can just drag and drop. This is a free service. There is also the opportunity to pay, and you get some extra things. And it's just got so many options. You can upload your own images, your own photos. You can add different cartoons or the world is your oyster when it comes to Canva. So Canva is definitely the first thing. So after you've created your beautiful image that you want, I have to recommend Grammarly. English is my first language, and it still is confusing. So this is Grammarly. I went ahead and typed up something just to give you an idea. So this is spell check times a million. You can start out with adjusting your goals. So if, let's say I'm writing for Uncorkified, let's say I'm doing an Instagram post, so I am knowledgeable, but Instagram's informal. This is going to be creative, and I want to be friendly and confident and optimistic and respectful. And today I'm going to describe Pinot Noir. So great. So now it reads the document in the vein of those things. So because it's more casual, it will let you, use some ellipsis or some casual language that it wouldn't normally use. In addition to correcting your punctuation, I'm always terrible at commas. It also gives you, let's see, click on this word. As soon as you double click on any word, it gives you a multitude of synonyms to up what you're working on, and gives you just little things that make it better. And obviously it's not Pinto. So it's very, very fast to click through, upgrade what you have going on. Let's see, what I write is actually a third. That time it didn't. There we go. So now that we've got our perfect, now it knows that that's Africa. We got to put a comma there. And great. So now that we have our perfect font that's ready to go, you can check it's calculating our readability and easeability. And it says how many characters, how many words, how long it would take to speak it. And an eighth grader is likely to understand this. So that is fantastic. Great. So now I've got my content written and it's all punctuated correctly and everything's wonderful. Now, hashtags. So when thinking about hashtags, I think a lot of people think that they need to create their own unique hashtags, which that is important if you're following campaigns. But really what you're doing is creating hashtags of what other people are potentially searching for. So for example, I use Kicksta, and here you can see that I already typed in, it was Save SA Wine, and then it comes up with additional hashtags that people might be looking for that go along with it. So you can do this for any number of search terms. And the greatest thing is you just say, copy all the hashtags, and it is done. So now I'll go back to my Grammarly, paste it, all 30, and you should use as many hashtags as you possibly can because you're allowed to use 30, so you might as well use all of them. So now my post is all written for today. Of course, if you are not Mulder Bosch, I would not copy those, but for this purpose, we will. Now I'm going to copy this. And most importantly, guys, I see so many people that use periods or emojis or something to create the spaces. There's so many different apps that can help you to create the proper spaces without having to do that. If you're writing anything on your desktop, Instagram line break is a great one. Copy it in there, copy it, and it doesn't just work for Instagram, it also works for Facebook and for anything else that you want to have copied correctly. So now this text is all appropriately copied, and you can just copy and paste it into wherever you want to put it up. So Caption Writer is another option if you're doing it from your phone. Caption Writer for Instagram is an actual app on Android and iPhone. So check those out so that you can save yourself a lot of headaches from trying to get things, your paragraph spaced correctly. Okay, once you have this posted, you probably want to track where your links are being clicked. So let's say I'm going to go to my website and I'm going to go back to, I use TinyCC. There's TinyURL, there's Bitly, there's a ton of different free tinifiers that help track things. So what I'll do is I'll type in Uncorkified, and I'm going to be putting this on Facebook. So this will be the post that I post on Facebook, except that of course when I'm trying to do this, it's going to give me an error, and it's probably because I need to sign back in. Anyways, pretend like that just worked. And here are some examples of things. Here's the long link. Here's the short link that I created, and I can see how many people clicked on that exact link. So I have a bunch of my different clients on here. And so it just helps me to be able to, like this, for example, this link for a client was posted in their Instagram profile, and it got a lot of clicks. This was posted on Pinterest and didn't get as many clicks, 2 different clients, but you can get the idea of how to track things. Okay, so moving on. I know I'm going super speedy, but there's so much I want to tell you guys. The next is automation. Here's another reason for having a different email account for your social media so that you can try the new free things. There's a few different programs out there. I use Sprout Social. Hootsuite is also a popular one. There's also Buffer. Hootsuite is, I think they have a free 30-day up to 3 profiles, but I've been using Sprout Social for 10 years. So I just want to run through how this works. And if you're able to afford an automation system, it's also really great for tracking your competitors. So first with the reports that Sprout Social offers is checking your own personal performance. So I'm checking myself for Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn from July 1st to July 31st. So I can see how many impressions I had overall, how many engagements, and how many post clicks. I can see how much my audience grew each day through all different ways. and how many messages were sent and received, and how many total impressions, and how, if that was up or down. So this is extremely useful in being able to monitor if what you're doing is actually working. Now, this is where it can get extremely helpful. So Sprout Social, and I believe Hootsuite as well, offers competitor reports for Facebook and Instagram. So for example, I'll use one of my US clients so as not to call anyone out here. Savino is my client. It's a wine saver. And some of their top competitors are Coravin, Aircork, Airvana, and VacuVin. So here, for the exact same time, I can obviously set my time period to whichever I would like, but I can see whose followers grew and dropped per day. You can see what percentage of change they have. Seems that obviously Coravin is blowing everyone out of the water on that. And then you can go down and you can see exactly in that time period how much was posted from those people and what were their most engaged. And if you click on this thing, you can see their most popular posts. So this is a great way for you to check out, some of your biggest competitors and see what's really working for them and see how you can adapt that to make it work for you. If you want to publish things, you can plan a whole social media calendar, and then you don't have to think about your social media on a daily basis. It's more just, I like to do it at the beginning of the month. I plan out the whole month for my clients, schedule everything to be posted, and then forget about it until I write the next batch of content. So the cool thing with this is, let's say I'm going to post something to my Facebook page. I'm going to post what we wrote over here, but I'm not going to use the hashtags because it does not work on Facebook. I'm going to post this for my Wine Wednesday. And because I'm talking about Wine Wednesday, it has to go out today. And the greatest part is, so this is actually set to American time, but just pretend like it's South African time. You can use optimal timings, and it tells you exactly what time is the best for your specific profile to send it out. Additionally, if you don't want to post it on specific days, you can say auto schedule, and it will just create a queue for you that will just keep your content going out constantly. So that is Sprout Social. Again, Hootsuite is very similar. So check out which one might work for you. If you don't want to pay for something like this, but you still want to plan your content calendar, I highly recommend Trello. Trello, this is a template, but it can be used for so many different things. So we'll pretend that this is what's happening in August, September, October. And once you put deadlines on things, it shows up in the calendar. So if we knew we were going to do this, but let's say I didn't get my post finished in time, so I'm just going to move it over here. I'd rather send this newsletter out instead. It's super easy to move everything around, and it moves it around here. So you have two different views. Additionally, this is a new board that I created, so it will not have this, but it has a butler, and the butler starts to learn what you do, and it can create automations for you with the things that you do constantly. So this is a free tool, Trello, that is good for teams. You can add a bunch of different people. You can assign people to each task, whether somebody needs to do the survey, somebody needs to do the newsletter. And of course, once it's finished, you can just say it's done. You can keep everything inside of each card. So I wrote a wine and cheese pairing for today. It's all ready to go. So if somebody needs to, okay, I researched the wine and cheese, I got the hashtags, I got it approved, and I've scheduled it. Great. Now I'm going to archive it, go back to my board. It's off my to-do list, and I can move on. So Trello, super important. You can also use it for, I use it for all of my clients so that I have different tasks set up for each of them. But again, there's so many templates and so many different ways. I would definitely recommend checking it out and seeing how it would work for you. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the two most forgotten, but I think important of social media platforms for wine in particular. So the first one is Pinterest. wine is very visual. Wine is very aspirational. We have some amazingly beautiful wine farms here. We need to be able to showcase that. You can showcase the design, the interior design inspiration. For example, this I created for, again, Savino, and I just created it recently, and I've only added, I think, maybe 10 to 15 pins, and they've already had huge growth in engagement and clicks, and I've just seen it going up, up, up. Additionally, other people, so I made a board that says our customers. So anybody who's tagged my client in a pin, I save that as well. And so those customers, those people that see those pins also see that I've created that. So you guys, the farms that are sold in physical wine shops abroad that have Pinterest, this would be really good for you guys. And just being able to showcase some of your decor. If you have guest houses, people can get design inspiration. I know a ton of the farms, you guys have amazing sculptures and artwork. This is a great place to showcase that and get more people into it. It's also just fun, and like down the rabbit hole you get to go of showing off your beautiful farm and your beautiful wines. So I highly recommend Pinterest, which I know a lot of people just focus on Facebook and Instagram. So now to the big one. This is anybody who's a wine producer, anybody who sells wine, this is the part that you need to pay attention to. We all know about LinkedIn, and that's great and fine and dandy, but I really am a huge fan of LinkedIn Premium. It is very expensive, but again, it's free for 30 days. So even if you use it and like snag the lists that you need and then start emailing them directly, I definitely recommend it. So it takes you to a whole different portal, which actually doesn't look and act exactly like regular LinkedIn. So let's say I'm a wine producer, and I want to sell wine in America. Let's say wine.com, which is one of the biggest. It takes you to this page. And what's really cool is, so there's over 4,500 results. 222 people have changed jobs in the last 90 days. And 740 people have posted on LinkedIn. And the interesting thing about that, I don't know why this is saying that there. So 740 people have posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. You pretty much have to assume that those people are ones that are active and open to taking messages or whatever it happens to be, because they're fairly active. Additionally, 935 people share experiences with me. Most of these people, that's probably WSET, but it shows you their title and everything else. Now, because this is a big company, with LinkedIn Premium, one thing that's really cool is you can easily click on decision makers. So here we have the CEO of wine.com, the CTO. So you can scroll through and see what person is probably the best for you. The marketing person, are you trying to do a promotion? Are they already selling your wines? Directing a pricer and senior buyer for spirits. Are you a gin company and want to reach out to them? You can also filter your search, obviously, by somebody who has buyer in their title. So let's say you already are sold by wine.com and you want to do a marketing promotion. So Christine would probably be your person. And you can get a little bit more in-depth information from that person and where she came from, and to see if there's anybody that might be a good connection for you guys to make contact. So if you find, let's see, where's the CEO? I don't normally recommend reaching out to the CEO because, that person's probably going to not pay attention, but there's always going to be somebody that is there for you. They also show additional contact information. Sometimes they'll even show their direct email address. It depends if how they have their account set up. And you can create different lists. And this is where you can have a chance to access, to export people and to make notes if you've already contacted them and what you've done. So really, LinkedIn Premium is an amazing way to get started with reaching out to new buyers or any other kind of partners. So lastly, I'm like right on time with 20 minutes. It's a lot to get through. Something that I think has gone by the wayside, Google Alerts. Super free, super easy to, depending on what you want to monitor. Is it your competitor? Is it a winemaker? Is it your winemaker? Is it you? What do you want to monitor so that you know as soon as it's mentioned, let's say, Niederberg wine. Okay. And I want it to make sure that it says both of those things together. So anytime anything on the interwebs mentions that, I'll just put in my email. And create an alert. And every time that Niederberg wine gets mentioned in that exact way, I will get an alert. So if I want to pitch somebody a story, or I want to send them something, or I want to keep track of somebody who's doing something similar, it just always keeps track of you for you so that you don't have to just go and search every single time. So, all right, 21 minutes. This is my website. I post I post tasting notes. I post educational resources for free courses. There's free Burgundy courses and Portuguese courses and all kinds of resources. And again, I know this was super speedy, and here is my email, of course, if you have any questions. And yeah, Will. I think Will's checking to see if there's any questions.
I'm checking. Sorry, Erica. I just muted myself. Yeah, there is actually quite a few questions that I'm going to shoot your way. Thank you for giving this rundown. I've actually learned a lot myself. So, Erica, the first question that we had is the cost for Canva and Grammarly. People were asking that.
Okay, so Canva is free, but then there is a paid version, and I apologize, I pay for everything still with my US account. So it's $12.95 for Canva. So that's probably about 175 Rand a month.
That's
equivalent.
1.5 bottles of wine. You've got to price everything in wine.
I guess that's true. It's about 2 bottles. So it's about 2 bottles of wine a month for that. Grammarly is free up to a certain point, but I, as you can see, use it for literally every single thing. The other great thing about Grammarly is they actually have a desktop application as well. So just as you would normally go to open Word or something else, it has that as version as well. And I want to say it was $50 a year, so 600 Rand a year. So 1 bottle of a Columella. I don't know.
Okay, cool. So we have that. Then I wrote down the questions. I can't read my own handwriting here. Automation. So somebody was asking if you do automation, how often do you actually post? I think this is always a question.
Yes. So I always like to post minimum for Facebook and Instagram. Generally, it's a minimum of 3 times a week. If you decide to go to Twitter, which I normally don't think is completely necessary for wine farms, it can be anywhere from 5 to 10 tweets per day. With Pinterest, it's generally a minimum of 5 pins per day. And with LinkedIn, maybe 1 to 2 times per week.
Okay, Erica, and then the touchy question from me is how do you keep things contextual? Because you were talking about LinkedIn and you're talking about Pinterest and different. So how do you're automating, but how do you make sure, can you change that post a little bit to make it more contextual to each platform?
Yes, 100%. So in Sprout, for example, depending on what you're posting it to, it changes what you're allowed to do. So obviously for Facebook, I deleted those, I deleted the hashtags that I'm going to post. But then if I want to go back and copy, sorry, I closed that out. If I want to go back and post for Instagram, and again, please, please, please do not cross post just to every single thing. As I've showed you, there is different photo sizes, there's different rules. That's why this tool makes it so easily. So now I have this, but if I were to just continue typing, it would tell me, see down here, it tells me now that I have too many characters, and it physically will not let me post at this point. So then if I switch it over to Instagram, or even let's say Twitter, because that's even shorter, then I'm going to tweet, and I want to tweet this. Nope, I have 767 characters that I'm over down there. So it helps you with no matter what format, what platform you want to post to make sure that you have the correct, and that's why it also gives you on the side, it gives you a preview of what it's going to look like. I didn't create a image for that, so I'll just drag and drop the image that I want to use. This is not the image I would use, it's just the one that was sitting on my desktop. And yeah, so it's super, super easy. Just drag and drop everything right in there.
Okay, so the next question that I have is LinkedIn. Somebody asked, what do you have the cost for LinkedIn Premium?
So LinkedIn Premium is quite expensive. I think it's over 1,000 Rand a month, which is why I said try the first month free. Pull a bunch of lists. Most people probably aren't going. That's a huge chunk of buyers and retailers and distributors to get started on. If you just commit yourself to 1 month of using it, even for 10 minutes a day, 1 hour a day, whatever it happens to be, and then you can decide to choose it again. Or I probably shouldn't be saying this, but like if you want to be sneaky, then have your business partner or somebody else in the company try it for free for 30 days and keep doing that way. But don't tell LinkedIn I said that, because I don't know if that's legal.
Okay. Are there any downsides to automatic posting or to automation?
The downsides, I don't think so, as long as you make sure that you don't get lazy with it and you're actually posting. Like for me, for example, it would be very easy for me to post something to a wrong client because, as I mentioned, when I click to where I want to post, these are all the accounts that I have to choose from. So it would be very easy to post the wrong thing. So just paying attention exactly where you're posting it and what you want to post. Additionally, it doesn't mean that you get to not look at your social media during those times. What I recommend when things are going out and are being scheduled, that you use those time to like things organically. For example, for just while you're going to the bathroom, just get on LinkedIn and through your company profile, like all the posts that hashtag save SA wine or all the posts that hashtag drink South African. You know that those people are going to be looking at accounts that are similar to that. So when your name then pops up, you're more likely to have somebody then click on your page and be like, oh, this is great content, I really want to follow it.
So, Erica, just on LinkedIn, do you have a specific content strategy for LinkedIn?
So LinkedIn is definitely different than any of the other platforms. LinkedIn is any of the press articles that you get written about you, any of the new initiatives that you're working towards. It's really anything from an industry perspective that people would want. If you all of a sudden joined the Old Vine Project, that's definitely something. If you get written about in Winelands or in Decanter or something like that, whenever you get new awards, you definitely write it much more to a business setting. And additionally, if you go back to Grammarly, when you set your goals, you can say that it is more, let's see, I would have to say business. So I would say that it's formal, I'm going to be urgent, and I'm going to inform somebody. So if I do that, it changes everything. And then see, it doesn't want me to use filler words as much because it thinks that it's not good for a business thing, which is another reason why I love Grammarly.
Amazing. So the last question, Erica, is you talked a lot about posting. What about engagement? What do you do in terms of actually engaging with people on social media?
Yes. So this is something I get asked all the time, and this is super, super, super important. Um, the way that the algorithm works now is you need to have people commenting more than 4 words in less than an hour of your post going out. So generally, whenever I have posts with my clients that are in South Africa, we have a Slack channel or a WhatsApp group. And I say, okay, guys, hey, I just posted this. And so everybody in the company then comments more than 4 words. And that pushes it to the front of the line as far as like trending. And the more you do that, the more it starts to go around. So getting people within your own company to comment on that is very helpful. Additionally, people sometimes start groups, engagement groups, where you and let's say it's the everybody who's a part of the Swartland Independent, and they're all in a group. And anytime someone posts, everybody else in the group, it's not a strict rule, obviously, but just like tries to get that done with under an hour to help everybody's posts get seen more.
Okay, so it's okay. That's very interesting. Erika, if thank you very much for spending the time. I think that's the questions. It's so nice of you to actually come and give your free advice here. I think everybody appreciates that. If somebody wants to get hold of you and they want to engage your services and or something like that, how do they do that?
Yep, I'm super accessible over email, just erica@uncorkified.com, and or on any of my social media platforms. Since I made the word up, I have Uncorkified is all of my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. But Instagram is probably my favorite.
So so what I'm learning from this, if you're starting a new winery or planning a new wine brand, make sure you make your name up so that you can get your social media right.
Exactly. That's a whole other topic, is how to pick your name for social media when there's so many that have already been taken.
So Erika, just some comments coming in, thanking you for your time. So that's people appreciated it. I just wanted to
Awesome.
say that this has been streaming on Facebook. It's been streaming on our Facebook group, on a bunch of Facebook pages. It's also on YouTube and on Twitter. Um, oh, sorry, Erika, there was one more question that I
Okay.
forgot about. Somebody asked the links to all these places, Grammarly and Canva and all the places you mentioned, if we can add that to the description of the video. I will get that links from you and you will add
Yes,
that if that is okay. And any other
definitely.
information you shall add. Thanks, Erika. Appreciate you and
Awesome.
looking forward to seeing you on this platform again.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.